have a wonderful gospel today, and the first part of the gospel is it says that Jesus is king, and it really fits into the whole story of St. Luke, the story of Jesus in the Gospel of Luke, where Jesus is journeying to Jerusalem in order to be made a king. And through the trial before Pontius Pilate and in Jesus' crucifixion, Luke over and over again is going to say Jesus is a king. And also in Luke's gospel, Jesus gives authority to the apostles. He gives them authority here on earth in running the church. And then only in Luke's gospel it says that the apostles are given authority in heaven to rule over the 12 tribes of Israel. So this gospel kind of speaks of the story of Jesus. But there's this section that's so wonderful about the coins. And I think there's a way that it speaks about all of our lives. Our lives come from God. And God has given us each unique gifts. And I remember when I was probably in high school, when I was looking ahead to college, remember I took a test that helped me understand what my gifts were. But I mean, I've kind of always known I'm a person that loves to listen to others. I love service. I love helping people. And so when I went to college, I first studied Spanish, which is something I think a lot of people have heard my story, but since 5th grade, I've studied Spanish in elementary school. I spent my last 2 years in Spain in high school. I did junior year abroad in college. So it was almost natural that I would study Spanish. And then I got my master's degree in social work at LSU. I got my Spanish degree at Tulane and my master's in social work at LSU, and then worked as a social worker. But the story kind of tells us that God has given us each unique gifts. And it's important for us, I think, to reflect on those gifts, especially if we're not certain of what those are. And I would say as well, if we're not certain of what these gifts are that God has given us, it's good to spend time in prayer and ask God to help reveal to us what are the gifts that God has given us. And that's first. And then second is to spend our lives using the gifts that God has given us. And again, these are gifts for serving God and serving others. So this wonderful gospel kind of challenges us to do that. It tells us that God has given us these gifts, always gifts to be used, and it kind of challenges us to think, how am I using the gifts that God has given me? And it's almost, for me, again, a natural gospel and homily for LSUS, because here we can come and study some of these things that we desire, that we're passionate about, but this isn't only about career. It's about our faith. It's about living out our faith fully. So today, as we hear this gospel, let us reflect on what are these talents, these gifts that God has given me, and how well do I use these gifts of service of God and others in my life?